The Forest Keeper, or Giant as I will call it, is a line of sight based enemy that chases and eats players it sees. Being eaten by the Giant will result in the player's body and any items in the player's inventory to be unrecoverable. The Giant is most common on Vow, and can only be killed if it walks over or gets landed on by an Earth Leviathan attack. The Giant does not take health away from the player, instead, it eats the player in one bite. You do slightly outrun the Forest Giant when sprinting, so dropping any items when you are being chased is ideal to escape, and to save the items in case you do get eaten. The Giant will roam around randomly until spotting a player. It spots a player if there are no objects blocking the sight between the player and the Giant. Once the player is spotted, the Giant will sprint at the player. If the player has not been seen yet by the Giant, it can be easier to maneuver around, as the Giant is less likely to aggro onto you. Crouching also helps more to not get spotted the first time around. Once the player has been spotted, however, the Giant will usually aggro quickly regardless of crouching. If the player can break line of sight for about 3 seconds, the Giant will lose the player, but still roam the area for a little longer before giving up on finding the player. Using rocks and the ship can help you lose the Giant. Trees can also work to lose the Giant's attention. Anytime you are spotted by the Giant, your screen will do this effect and you will hear the sound play. Additionally, if you can get under the ship, the Giant cannot reach you there and can lose aggro after some time. Walking into the Giant will make him eat you regardless of the direction he's facing. You can use the top of the ship, as shown, to keep the Giant infinitely distracted. Also, if you get into this spot, the Giant just watches you and can even lose aggro. Using a stun grenade or radar booster flash can save you if being eaten by the Giant, or give you more time to get away. Zapgun barely helps in this situation. Good ways to play around the Giant is to bait him away from the ship to an exit you don't need to go into. Your best strategy, however, is to use the teleporter, and to use a player to bait the Giant away from all the other players and the ship. Just as the Giant eats the player, as shown by the change in scenery on the monitor, click the teleport button for that player. You should always let the Giant eat the player who is baiting. Not doing this will result in the Giant still being in the aggressive sprinting state, because he is still targeting the player, and he might quickly come back to ship. The laser pointer item has no effect, nor does any other item that has light or creates sound, or even the ice cream machine. They do not help. The Giant cannot get you when inside the ship. And lastly, a fun fact is the Giant can take durability from the Vow bridge and actually break the bridge.